Hello everyone, welcome to the Escape Champions League. This is the grand final from the Middle East, 1 versus 1, and we have BacT as a Britons, TaToH at Byzantines. This is Memp, and with me is Mr. Resonance 22, and the map is Hideout. Res, what do you think about this matchup, Britons and Byzantines, for the start for this first game?
Always a pleasure to be co-casting with you, Mem, for the ECL and any other tournaments. Always a blast. So, like you said, this is going to be TaToH versus BacT. I think that this is going to be a really good game. Hideout is always a fun one for me because depending on the map generation, sometimes we end up seeing players partition the map in half, and then they usually try and focus on one front and then maybe threaten to open up the other one later. This is the desert-themed Hideout. Also, another interesting fact of this map is that since players do start with these palisade walls, they are still potentially vulnerable to being rushed. It just provides them a little bit of early game advantage. It looks like both players actually have some conveniently placed forests at the front of their bases, which will make a wall off easier. So, what do you think, Mem? Do you think we're going to see a little bit more defensive play from them?
Well, this map usually is not really aggressive in the start, so go for Castle Age Imperial fight, but I like the wood. I mean, the wood, they are so close. You can see those two landmarks already, and basically, when they chop a little bit of those trees, a tower can be, with fletching, even possible to be in the range, so they will have to move. But according to these civilizations, I prefer Britons here. I don't know, maybe TaToH is gonna plan some crazy fast Imperial or something, because in late game, that Briton range against Byzantines, we know that Byzantines got super cheap trash units, but honestly, I'm not sure about this. Well, we can see for now the first fight with the scouts. He's chasing now TaToH BacT, but let's see, he's trying to explore really fast BacT, so maybe BacT is going to go aggressive. Also a possibility with Britons with the fast food from the ships. What do you think?
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility with the Britons, and they can also abuse their archer range as the game drags on to actually harass the opposing wood line due to the short rush distance between these two forests. I'm really glad that you pointed that out. It also means that trebuchets in the late game can be a huge problem, and sometimes players will opt to open that up entirely. BacT's trying to gather as much information as possible on where the exterior resources are that are not protected by these palisade walls in case he wants to apply any sort of Castle Age style pressure. But you're right, the palisade walls will keep them safe a little bit in the early game, and now we're going to have to think a little bit more about the map generation, how it's going to affect the way these players play.
Well, let's see, because we can see how the goal for BacT is really safe. So you can see it's almost impossible to be attacked by TaToH, which is the opposite from TaToH. If BacT should lose this scout, why? Because I'm checking now BacT point of view fog of war. He tried to explore, and you can see that he didn't find any resources on TaToH base. But in Feudal Age, since you get better LOS, he can see the gold and the stone. Of course, he doesn't know if there is something else inside, but it's reachable. From a good rush, you can see how they are at the back from that TC, so he can make the aggression. While BacT has the gold safe, that stone is also exposed, but it could be for some early aggression. Anyway, it's hard to know for now. We're getting into the point that we're going to see if they will go up fast to Feudal Age or they will go 27 villages and then probably for a fast castle.
Yeah, I'm going to be expecting that type of build from both these players, given that they've got that little bit of extra defense. One thing that I have noticed, Mem, is that almost all of the relics are more or less on the TaToH's side of the map. So that could matter, as in Hideout, games can go on for a reasonable enough length of time that the relic gold can certainly accumulate. This is somewhere between the realm of Arena and Arabia, or you can think of it as kind of a reversed inside-out Arena, but with palisade walls instead. Both players are going to try and do their best to use their buildings as a makeshift wall off behind their front wall, because they know the palisades aren't going to be that safe, but I feel like the way with the forests actually being generated on the outside of their base, those two clumps, that they could actually just maybe even stonewall those if they wanted to create a pretty powerful front line.
Yeah, well, I'm checking, and I see that TaToH is going for gold. You were mentioning about the arena. These civilizations in arena are very strong. I mean, Byzantines is one of, maybe now less with so many civilizations, right, with the world law. kingdoms. But Byzantines is always so versatile, and about the relics distribution you said, why not going for Monk Ras and also take the relics? Byzantines are so cheap to go up to Imperial, and I would love to see some aggression with Byzantines. I think will be amazing. But they are going 25, 26 population, so they are going for the fast castle.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think that that's the safer, better play. I'm just curious to see what these players actually do with the map generation. I think that almost all of the actual fighting is going to be on the top half of the map for the first part of the game, and then in the later stages of the game, players are going to threaten each other on trying to bust through those back walls. But in the meantime, if you go around the backside, the rush distance is way too far, so I don't think either of them are going to risk it. This is a very interesting Civ matchup too, because while the Byzantines can get to the Imperial Age really quickly, that is going to be something that I feel like TaToH has to leverage if he wants to come out on top against the Britons, because the Britons' excellent range, they don't really fear most of what the Byzantines have to offer. They're missing siege engineers, their cataphracts die to elite longbowmen. It could be a little bit tough if the game goes super late, I think.
Well, for now, we can see that they are going different strategies. BacT will go archery range and blastsmith, most likely. Yeah, he's doing the archery range and blastsmith, and TaToH will go market and blastsmith. There you go. They will go both for Castle Age. Probably he will try to make some arches. Then there is open some possibilities. He can also build a siege workshop and try a siege tower. Seems they can't go through the palisade. Still, the map is open, so TaToH need to be careful. But let's see. Let's see. I really think that TaToH will go probably. If he's not mining more gold, it will go for extra TCs and just probably some mini boom and maybe a monastery going some monks and try to get the relics. He can see the relics already. Let's check TaToH point of view, Fog of War. Not yet, but he will start to explore probably more. Well, he can see one, and he didn't explore at the back. So let's see. He's walling already that area with the houses, starting to wall everything, and the Castle Age time is pretty quick. BacT with one villager more. Is he without even the loot? Oh well, but TaToH 2. Oh, that's nice. BacT is 27 villagers up faster than TaToH, and with one villager more. That means really a smooth Dark Age from BacT.
Oh, very smooth indeed. Part of that is due to the faster sheep gathering that the Britons actually get, so they don't have as much idle time in the Dark Age. But also that's just some really great play by BacT. He's mining a ton of gold, so like you said, I expect to see some crossbows from him. Researching fletching, both players are getting double bid X for that huge eco boost, and he's going to try and do some raiding on the front half of TaToH's base. I like that you brought up the possibility of a siege tower, as it's certainly a great way to get around these palisade walls and kind of get the surprise in your opponent, because that unit is surprisingly fast. The thing is that TaToH wasn't born yesterday, so that's why he's trying to double layer his walls so that they don't actually are vulnerable to a siege tower. However, he hasn't been able to get up a double layer across the board. And as a result, BacT's in the Castle Age instantly clicks that crossbowman and bowsaw. That's how you do it. That's how you get to really high rating. And now he's going to start applying some pressure because he can't wall behind it because those archers have some range.
Let's see if Nostradamus is going to work, because the siege workshop is coming. They are not really far from being hideout. I was mentioning about the siege early in the game because they are pretty close. Imagine if they were to go way farther, but like this, he's almost there. And those crossbows already +2. Like if you get Bodkin arrow but not needed, the plus from Britons is just amazing. Also the siege tower. Why I say that? It's a fun strategy. I love that siege tower, and sadly it's not being used so often because it's also not the opportunity to use. He's gonna make it now, but he's going for the mango. Damn it! Yeah. I wanted a siege tower. Well, but why he's not doing it? If you check his point of view, Fog of War, the siege tower would be really effective right now. But the problem is he doesn't know what we do. He doesn't know if also TaToH is doing a siege workshop or something. But TaToH is with 3 town centers already, and for now, nothing to defend. So actually, if BacT was going inside with the crossbows, imagine if he did the siege tower, the damage could be real. Since TaToH also is without the loot.
You're absolutely correct, Members. I think that right now BacT's getting a little bit of cold feet and just playing it safe with the standard Mangonel choice. Having all of this range at his disposal, 7 across the board, soon to be 8 for those crossbows. Once he gets Bodkin arrow, he'll be able to apply a ton of pressure and force TaToH to have to wall at the back or drop down a siege workshop. He's doing it now, but he opted to go for his 2 additional town centers first, whereas BacT only now just got his 2nd town center. So we're going to see the classic Age of Empires 2 duel between one player who has additional town centers and will slowly incrementally gain an eco lead against the other player who's applying some offensive pressure.
Micro gonna be really crucial here. He's getting the map control back because he's getting in and pushing. It's good to be like this with Britons because Britons has also those cheaper TCs, so you always can recover a little bit the boom. And if you get some villages behind, it's better to have a smooth economy and 0 idles than TaToH. Well, TaToH is 0 idles for now, but if he's pushing well, he can make the damage. Now the micro is gonna be crucial. There's 1 mangonel instead of that siege workshop. With 2 mangonels and the crossbows. Oh, let's see the battle! Oh, well, he didn't kill anything, but that was a good shot. That's a good micro, and that is a good one here for BacT. I would like to see that villager come in and repair the mangonel. And now, with the mangonel and those crossbows, imagine rest if he was doing right now Bodkin arrows. Sadly,
yes,
he probably doesn't have resources, but with 8 range, here, he would make a lot of damage, and he keep pushing.
It's a lot of damage, and you're absolutely correct. I did check his resources, and he is getting to Bodkin Arrow. Expect him to click it soon. I think that's what's on his mind. He just barely can afford it now, and ooh, he's opted for Wheelbarrow instead. He is repairing the Mangonel, like you said. By the way, with no loom. Gotta admire that. Dropping outposts everywhere. That's one of the reasons why he didn't go for a siege tower earlier, besides it being more of a fun thing, is that he just didn't know, like you said, what was actually inside TaToH's base. Would it be a bunch of town centers, or would it be a faster siege workshop, already prepared for this? And the answer was it was a bunch of town centers, and the siege workshop came later. Great micro there by BacT, dropping outposts everywhere to make sure he has as much vision as possible, because he doesn't want to be surprised by anything, such as some stables, which would normally be out of his line of sight.
That mangonel kill is super important. Imagine if he's now taking the siege workshop down. I'm surprised also about the knights. Remember, they don't have the bloodlines, and he's really pushing. I'm really surprised for BacT today, going super aggressive. You can see how he's spending now a lot of villages on repairing that siege workshop, but it's important. But BacT is not killing a lot. He got a lot of arches, and I don't know, it's not really killing. He's losing also some arches and villages ahead. But TaToH got, like we were talking, 13 idle villages. So sometimes those numbers are a little bit fake, because right now his effective villages are less. Now he's getting more. Ouch! But be careful, man. Be careful. That mangonel took the villager forward for BacT. But BacT is going all in. 2 mangonels, and at home. Oh, but BacT at home is smooth now. Market 3 town centers, you see. And imagine now, if he was doing, he got 255 stone. He can make a tower, and he will take all his wood, man. All TaToH's wood. Well, he's not doing a tower there in the middle. It would be amazing, that tower there. Okay, let's see if he's gonna make it or not.
I agree, he should absolutely make that tower there, as that would completely decimate TaToH's economy. One of the interesting things here, there are a lot of them, is that BacT only has 1 archery range producing currently, so that's why he has a small number of crossmen, needs to be extra careful about losing any of them. But with so many mangonels, he's realized, even with the Byzantines' extra bonus HP on their buildings, I can just destroy this blacksmith and market, destroy all these houses, and that is still a loss to TaToH, and has forced TaToH into what would normally be a suboptimal type of unit for their civilization, which would be the knight, because again, they don't have bloodlines. It looks like he's not training any of them yet, and instead has opted to put down 2 archery ranges, and another market. So that's 175 wood down the drain. Some great eco damage here. Another thing is that also TaToH was forced to get loom because this archer rating, and I don't even know if BacT has it. Okay, he finally did get it. But 2 mangonels are coming, man.
2 mangonels. The micro create is going to be crucial. The tower that we were mentioning before is going there, so he's now going to have to move a lot. Let's see those mangonel fight. That mangonel fight, he's not microing properly, not yet. TaToH was doing ground attack, but now with so many crossbows, 17 army overall, only TaToH got 4 mangonels. I don't know why he did a couple of stables, because actually he didn't use it at all. He did barely 1 or 2 nights. Oh, the mangonel down. mangonel down. The micro is crucial. You got an outpost BacT, so you should be careful. Let's see if TaToH is gonna be able to take those mangonels or not. The amount of army from BacT is huge, so he could make more damage. You know what I think he should do now, BacT? Imagine one stable with couple of knights. Massive damage.
Oh, yeah.
Massive damage, because right now, TaToH doesn't have even a monastery. If he was doing now a stable, couple of knights, he will, I don't even say that he take the game. He took it, and now he's gonna take another, he's gonna take it. Got it. Imagine now with the knights. Anyway, still 2 mangonels down, and another one. Got it. No.
Wow.
It didn't, man. Why it didn't happen? Why did it happen that? I thought that it was going to be bye-bye. Rest.
Oh my god.
Some kind of hack?
What kind of micro? This is pretty
Cast
impressive by BacT here. Managing to just barely scrape these shots and then land all the ones that he needs to. TaToH losing his mangonels, and as a result, he's going to have so much difficulty defending, especially from these battering rams coming in, and BacT is going all in with this castle. That's going to be so difficult to remove if you're stuck in the castle age. And a crucial part of the Britons versus Byzantines matchup is this extra range. The 8 range that these crossmen have barely outrange a mangonel, allowing you, if you have really good micro, to kind of come out on top. TaToH end up transitioning into skirmishers. I think he wants the elite skirm upgrade, but like you said earlier as well, a single stable and a couple of knights would chew right through this. This castle's coming down, and really only the Byzantines can claw their way back from something like this because of their discounted Imperial age, because you need a Treb for this castle. Oh, and also, BacT got to boom so much because of his discounted town centers.
Yeah, exactly. This is why I'm a little bit surprised that TaToH is still, well, he's 15 villages ahead. Now he's doing a lot of skirmishes. No, man, go back a little bit, go back. Those skirmishes are doing now a massive damage, and now TaToH with Botkin Arrow incoming and ballistic, in mind what he can do.
Ooh, nice.
He's gonna lose absolutely everything. Oh, well, the mangonel, he saved that. He saved that because he lost the knight, but with that mangonel, he's gonna make the damage in those skirmishes. Still, he can push. He needs stables. Finally, he's doing the stables. This can be brutal. And BacT, Mr. Res and Viewers, has a stone to make another castle. What that mean? If with that castle, he's taking now the siege warsaw, can take 2 town centers and make, for example, where is the TC just forward that castle? Another one, he will force TaToH to go more and more back. Who is doing? But the difference and the map control, what resources will be able TaToH to gather?
Oh, the answer is not many, Mem. He does have a gold and a stone at the back, and he's making the correct play, which is take your economy, take Bikini Bottom, and move it somewhere else. He has moved it further south, where he has a gold and a stone mine, and if he can stall miraculously until he gets to the Imperial Age, he can remove all these forward castles and maybe stage the comeback of the century, but that's going to be so hard, as he's lost so much of his economy. And the thing is he doesn't have enough eco at this point. He has to pick between either getting crucial blacksmith upgrades, like that defense upgrade, padded archer armor, versus these Britons crossbows, or scale barding armor for his knights, or try and get to the Imperial Age and Treb this castle. He's in so much trouble because of that, and you know things are looking rough when your opponent is mining your stone. But TaToH going for that discounted imp because he knows what he's doing. Gotta get to imp, get those trebs out. Do you think he can do it, man?
Well, I don't know, because TaToH has balanced his economy so much to go up. And to make trebuchet first, he needs to make a castle. For now, he doesn't have, but maybe he can go chemistry and then go for bombard cannons. For now, we will see how he's still getting more and more map. In the south, we can see how he's walling the map completely, so he wants to be safe. I mean, BacT don't want to get raided. BacT economy is still not the best, but he's getting more and more map. And with that castle, bye-bye another goal. Bye-bye another goal. Now he's coming with the knights. This is what he needs. The knights with +2 upgrade, mangonels rams and another castle. Those skirmishes are going to go to the hell, man, because it's impossible to stop those. He needs a lot of pikes now, and even if he's going up to Imperial, if BacT play properly, raid a little bit more and take those skirmishes, TaToH is in big troubles. Let's see, because Byzantines got that advantage, that going that fast to Imperial, maybe he can come back, but BacT is really raiding a lot now. Look at the police number and the idle time from TaToH.
Great job rating here by BacT, and it was like I mentioned earlier in the game. If you're going to win this matchup, it's all about leveraging two things. Most importantly, the Byzantines' ability to get to the Imperial Age faster. So he'll either need to get some bombard cannons of chemistry or a trebuchet if he's going to survive this. And it looks like he's going to put down a defensive castle in a very well-placed location to protect his eco. He'll get to the Imperial Age so much faster than BacT, and now just get at a single treb. He's also taking advantage of the Byzantines' sheer variety in counter units. Sure, he doesn't have enough money right now to actually upgrade them, but being able to just get out some discounted pikemen is huge. He's going for my favorite Byzantines build, one of everything, and replacing his town centers. So many players forget to do that when they lose their eco, but he's trying to build it back. The trebuchet is coming out. This game might not be over yet. But it's
it's
tough.
not over. It's definitely not over, but I don't know. If BacT is just pushing, he's also in the south building double archery range, siege war sub with the ram. He's taking all the map. Right now, it seems that he has 65% of the map. It's true that the trebuchet can change well everything. Maybe I don't know. BacT is still now gathering more resources. 140 population, 124 BacT. What he should do also, BacT, in my opinion, skirmishers. They are cheap. And they can counter a lot of the army that TaToH can do. Why? Because TaToH, at this point, got almost no resources. He don't even have resources to make Bresser. You can see that he's still with the Plus 2. The bikes are not even with a single upgrade. You know, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So the only advantage he has is that he has one treb. But his economy is right now at the very limit. He's not repairing the castle, now he's repairing the castle, and BacT is doing the least skirmishes. This is the way to go. So, if he keeps pushing more and more, and he's able to go up to Imperial Age, and he will, because look his economy, TaToH is still in troubles. But the game, for the first game, an amazing one.
And the Briton skirmishers are good too. This is an amazing game. Wow, all those mangonel shots. BacT coming in here, the sniper. Picks off that lone trebuchet, which was perhaps just a bit too far forward. But the thing is that TaToH tried to keep it close to his castle, as safe as possible, and just in range of BacT's castles, because BacT didn't make the mistake of building them too far forward. Instead, he wanted to make sure that he got to block off TaToH from his main gold and his main stone mine, strip mine all those resources, salt the earth, so that way, in case he loses his forward, he's future-proofing himself for the rest of the game. But meanwhile, we've got a problem on the bottom of the map, like you mentioned. Outposts on both sides, and TaToH, I don't believe, can afford another castle, but he really needs one on the bottom side of the map to protect from that raiding. He's putting unit production facilities everywhere, he's finally stockpiling some resources, and, BacT's going to imp.
Yeah, we forgot something to mention that is really important. BacT is going to Imperial, yeah, but you can see in the spec overlay. We probably didn't notice, guys. You probably did it. It say Tyrant. Tyrant? Who forget that clan? Nobody, right? BacT was a Tyrant, so we have Tyrant versus Secret. You thought that Tyrant is dead? It's not, man. He's still there. He keeps the tag, the Tyrant. What that means, that now he's playing as a Tyrant 1. He's playing super aggressive BacT. But TaToH is defending like a warrior. You can see his population under the pressure, 160. And now he can spam skirmishes forever. Why? They are so cheap. They are extremely cheap. But the problem is that he still have a lot of map control. And TaToH resources now, yeah, they are good, but he's even housed. He's not doing trebuchet. Why? Because he's getting raided in the south, and now I believe that BacT will prepare a push in the north. What he should go? TaToH is doing halberdiers. Well, BacT lightcaps, come on, man. What you need to do is, in my opinion, I don't know what you think, and I would love to see also the Werewolf upgrade. Ooh. That is amazing. I would love to see that, but man, over boom BacT, 147 villages, 25 army, while now TaToH 42. BacT, you need, in my opinion, arbalest, skirmishes, and trebuchet. Nothing else he did.
I think he did overboom just a little bit because he was desperately trying to get to the Imperial Age to resolve this massive economic discrepancy and technology discrepancy. Like, he's had a huge military lead the entire game, but all of these upgrades for TaToH, it's really the upgrades that are making the biggest difference here. Those elite skirms are now fully upgraded, you know, 2-man saws coming out. The chemistry upgrade, I think, was a great choice from TaToH, which will allow him to slowly move the line forward, demolish all these buildings, while also protecting himself against opposing mangonels and trebuchets. Now he's deploying all of his trebs at the front of his base and using his bombard cannon to strategically pick off each of those mangonels which weren't being watched. This is when the sheer diversity and flexibility that the Byzantines have really come into play, and now it's up to BacT to try and get all of his technologies out, abuse those arbalests with yeomen and maximum range, get even more elite skirmishers out. I feel like you said, the light cav aren't too impressive here, but he's just looking for something to beat these skirms. And I feel like maybe onagers would be better or something. What do you think?
Yeah, but what I think is that BacT resources is looking like Michi resources, little by little, and he has no man. Look at this. He lost the castle now, and he's housed. He need to make look at the castle he's doing. I don't know, but he need houses, and he doesn't need to delete villages. 160 villages with Britons is just it's just massive. It's a lot. You need army. You need the opposite. While TaToH got 70 army. 70 army. Siege rams gonna be really complicated to stop. The siege rams is it's also what it makes very dangerous the Byzantines. And don't be so surprised if TaToH managed some resources, something that he love it. He needs some food. And I wouldn't be surprised to see honors and try to cut wood and then raid back the economy. In this map, as soon as he can do that, TaToH is always doing. BacT is now doing conscription again, but BacT resources, amigos,
it's Michi.
Almost 3,000 food, 800 gold, and 1,000 wood, but still only 30 military. Imagine how much army he could do with this. I don't know what he's planning to do. He has stables, but now he's doing what? More archery range. Well, in the south, he's cleaning all that. Why he focus there, Res? I don't understand why he focus in the south. He should focus where he has the castle and prepare a good push. But now TaToH is pushing him back completely. 200 pop with a much better distribution. 71 army. And he keeps doing more. And probably if TaToH delete villages, it will be even better for him because he could go easily with Byzantines over 100 army.
I mean, the only explanation is that BacT is researching guilds really, really early, so that way he can trade all of his resources and hoard a bunch of bitcoins. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like he has significantly overboomed, something that doesn't typically happen too much, but there's honestly too much of a good thing that can happen. He has too many villagers. I think he actually needs to delete some pronto, or he's going to get overwhelmed by TaToH's superior eco balance, and as well as his cheaper military units, which means the Byzantines get to use fewer villagers overall and still maintain a large army. I also agree that it's a little strange that BacT decided to push on the bottom side of the map. While normally that would be really, really powerful and the light cav are coming in now, the thing is I feel like you only want to open up another front when on the previous front, the primary one, is actually being stalled out. Looks like TaToH is going to throw away his siege rams here and get thrusted by some other rams and just completely collapse, but he's going to start adding in some halberdiers as the techs roll out. Things are looking risky for BacT unless he starts deleting vills, and it looks like he's got a couple down. But really, he had so much momentum on the top side, man, like so much. I don't think he needed to switch sides. I think he could have continued pushing there.
Do you know what can help? What can help to BacT? He's doing the Onega upgrade. If his TaToH is doing what I mentioned, if he's cutting and trying to raid, that can help BacT to get a lot of farming. Because right now, he got over 2,000 food and 2,500 gold. Imagine the amount of farming he can do. And also, I don't know, for example, in this situation, why the players are not thinking to make champions. He got halts and skirmishes. He make 30, 40 champions and he kill everything. With the armor they have, he is doing all the... You can see chainmail armor now, but I don't see... Now, he's doing a lot of barracks. So I believe he will do champions, because halberdiers make no sense here. The other guy is not coming with cavalry. But now, finally, BacT is deleting some villages, and look at now the amount of army he's getting, and so dangerous. Those arbalests, still without gentlemen, but 10 range, and BacT, men-at-arms, plate mail armor, so the champions is going to happen. No, really, I was going to say sack, rest. Champions with the skirmishes and on some arbalests with that range, how do you stop them with Byzantines?
It's really difficult. You're going to have to start mixing in hand cannoneers, and the Britons are one of the best civilizations at completely dismantling any attempt at using hand cannoneers to counter them because of the massive, massive range advantage. So, I completely agree. Champions are an underrated unit. They are the trash slayer, and the Byzantines are the trash unit civilization. They're the civ that makes all those units that don't cost gold. And the champions, I think, would be the perfect choice here. Things like cataphracts and whatnot, which would be great against champions, but generally are too expensive, again, get demolished by Britain's arbalest. The game is going on longer and longer, and it's just like I described earlier, BacT's finally deleted a ton of his villagers. He's now down to a very reasonable, modest 131, getting that yeoman, getting that long swordsman, and now that he's got all the upgrades, well, the Byzantines jack of all trades, master of none, it's gonna start to bite.
Werewolf, man! I want to see Werewolf.
I do too.
I want to see the threat, which is with a hundred accuracy. Anyway, we can now focus completely in this push. And the push is gonna happen? No, it's not gonna happen. It's happening right now. This is a lot of rams. Look at those arbalest skirmishes. TaToH is coming with the honor. We can see some crazy badaboom. Look at that honor coming. He should focus a little bit, but he doesn't even need it because there's a lot of army. And with 81 military, is TaToH gonna be able to hold? I don't think so. Why? Because I believe that the quality of the army composition from BacT is now higher than TaToH. Arbalest with Yeoman, 11 range, doing a forward castle, and that castle is taking again that main goal. So what is the goal incoming now from TaToH? I'm gonna tell you soon. One relic is the only goal incoming. So with that army, with the skirmishes and siege rams, you're gonna be able, well, if he didn't have the champions coming, but those are 200 swords +4/+4 coming, and with that army he should be able to stop the siege rams. Let's see how it's gonna be the micro, but for now, the game, for the first game of this final, guys, is just absolutely amazing. Come on, Rez, who is gonna stop those siege rams? He's gonna stop it or not?
It's gonna take those light cavalry, but the palisade wall blocks the way. They will be able to do it, though, because those siege rams do actually have negative melee armor. This castle, I think, will survive, even though it has minimal upgrades. The siege rams are coming in, but really, I would like to see more trebs, more bombards, but he's making a ton of siege rams, though, just to absorb that archer fire and try and force BacT into making things like light cavalry, but he doesn't know about the champions, as now they're coming in, and they're gonna just shred right through the Rams Skirm army comp. Like you said, BacT now has the superior army comp. Previously, it was with TaToH. The momentum has switched, and I'm really worried for him. I feel like as soon as BacT gets siege engineers, they're just slowly gonna crumble for TaToH. I don't really know what exactly he could build here to actually push back on this, that he would have the economy for. I think not grabbing a lot of those relics earlier on the game, and being zoned off that main gold is crucial, man. Oof.
Well, BacT got now 2 relics even. I think BacT did a little mistake. I don't know if he's gonna pay it off because he sent the champions basically alone. And remember that the range units, guys, if you don't micro them properly, they always shoot first to the siege units. And all those arbalests, they were doing that. Were just shooting to the rams. So the champions were gone, lost without doing so much impact. And now TaToH seems he got a super cheap economy, and now he's cutting in the middle with the honors and rams, and he can raid a lot because the army composition now from TaToH is, well, I wouldn't say better, but a lot of army, almost 100 units. Now drop it a little bit, the siege rams are coming, and the economy is gonna be raided, but BacT is still with 200 population. This is so risky. He's trying to go aggressive, but now he's gonna be also little bit exposed at home and taking all the rallies. We will see siege Ramsey coming with a lot of alps and skirmishes. What is he doing now? You need to send all the army, Mr. BacT. But he's gonna stop this. We will see. Still, maybe this is gonna help BacT to make more army. I still think that he should have a lot more with Britons.
I agree, he should have a lot more, and go, Mem, as BacT now suddenly on the back foot. If only he was the Spanish and had supremacy, because now he has to use his villagers to dismantle these siege rams. That's not going to work. So what do you do in a desperate situation like this? You cut through the middle and you go straight for the throat. Go for the eco. This is one of the downsides, and one of the reasons why Age of Empires is such a well-designed game, one of my favorite games of all time to cast, is because, and I've been doing it for so many years, it's because you put all these castles forward in your opponent's base. Where the castles in your own base? They're not there. Which means now you have to pull back all your military units, give TaToH a little bit of map control, maybe he'll consider flirting with some relics, you never know. In the meantime, this could be his big break. He took down the main town center from BacT and is doing some raiding. I wonder if this will be enough to hold the line.
Well, this is start to be a little bit too much, because I was telling that maybe that he's losing some bellies is good for his army. It's true that now he has more army than TaToH, but be careful, BacT, because if the game keep going longer and longer and you keep losing villages, now you are 92 villages and 36 are idle. But in the south, skirmishes and a lot of army for BacT. In the north, a lot of skirmishes, arbalists, and one trap, but the siege rams is still being really hard to stop. But now on his base, BacT is doing 2 extra TCs and he stopped it completely. And I told you, he's gonna help BacT to balance his army composition. Definitely 110 army right now. 110 army, a lot of army, man. And then he's telling, thank you, TaToH. You help me to don't delay village, but the rams, you need to stop the rams, and somehow you need to push and raid TaToH. Otherwise, TaToH can produce army forever. He has 2,000 food in the bank. Well, now less because he's spamming everything, and 1,400. The problem for TaToH is, well, and now also for BacT, the goal. They only have now 2 relics, and well, let's see if he's gonna be able to stop. I still believe that with the Britons' range should be stronger. The problem is that the range, remember, rest is in the arbalists, gold units, and when you are not gonna be able to do it, the trash units might be better for Byzantines.
Yeah, I mean, they are. He's saving money. And in the later stages of the game, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've reached the Age of Empires Singularity. It's that magical point in the game where people just forget to replace their lost villagers. You've seen it, I've seen it, your teammates every single game. Clock ticks 1 hour, boom. They just forget to actually replace any lost villas. So we will see if BacT actually rebuilds his eco a bit, because he is at 91 villagers compared to 110, which is a little bit of a healthier number, so BacT could actually start running out of food. He's got 5,000 wood in the bank, which I think you might want to sell. You're right, these arbalests are great, but in the end, he's just losing so much gold that TaToH might be able to starve him out, and this economy was absolutely crippled. I think the champions are a great, cheap way to deal with this type of army comp without wasting too much gold in the process. It's gonna be tough.
Look, I'm checking what you are telling right now. He got 20 farmers, which is impossible to push or to keep holding against Byzantines with 20 farmers. He needs exactly to do what you say, to relocate all his villages and make much more farmers than Lumberjack, because he has 7,000 almost wood. That's crazy. TaToH is doing plate barding army, and imagine he's not gonna be able because he doesn't have the gold, but he could make hussars. Yeah, they don't have bloodlines, but hey, BacT didn't research the house, so I insist. If the game keeps going, be careful with the Byzantines. But now BacT seems to be pushing more and more. He's bringing villages to make what? Oh, a forward TC. Because he knows that now the siege is so expensive. So he might be confident to make a TC there and gather the main goal for TaToH. First game, well, I don't know what people were thinking, and what do you think? Res, who was the favorite, but doesn't matter who is the favorite anymore. First game, 1 hour, 10 minutes already, guys. Stay absolutely tuned, because it's only the start of this amazing series. And Hideout, you know why you love it now, this map, right? Because look at the battle we are getting now.
Oh, definitely. And if you guys enjoy our co-casting, please do check out our respective Twitch and YouTube channels. We really appreciate it, as always. This is a classic Age of Empires 2 game that I love in a nutshell. This right here, this main gold mine, which belongs to TaToH, by the way, that's his, let's not forget that, is going to be likely the decisive factor in this game, because both players are very poor. Interesting to see BacT not actually have access to Halberdier, because at this point in the game, it's really difficult to get 600 gold. So, and Hussars are much better than Light Cav with no bloodlines. This one gold mine could prove to be decisive. You just need a little bit more cash to produce just a bit more siege and champions and push through this. But the Byzantines buildings, they're a little bit too tanky. Will we see TaToH able to starve out BacT? Because I think it's looking a little grim. He did a ton of damage to the eco. But he's just got to stall a bit more and get control of that gold mine.
He has the goal at the control, and he's doing exactly what he needs now, TaToH. You need to go with the siege. The game is in a moment that right now BacT can push and get the first one. You can see 102 villages is okay. BacT got now, well, 30 farmers. I will make a little bit more. But this is a lot of farming from. It's skirmishes versus skirmishes. But those arbals, you see, they cannot reach those arbals. For that reason, now he put 1-2 step ahead with the skirmishes, because he saw how those arbals were doing the damage. But TaToH, go. If he take the castle, he can make a lot of damage. Now some light gas will be needed as well, but definitely he's at the very limit. You need more farmers back. It's impossible to have over 7,000 wood and zero food. Zero food, man. It's really difficult here. And imagine, almost a stone to make another castle. Imagine where the TaToH it is if now BacT made the castle. Another thing, if you guys check the mini-map, Sack, Res, 75% belong to BacT. He's basically cornered TaToH. He's in a really bad position now, I think.
Yeah, the map control is decisively in favor of BacT, and even though there aren't that many gold units in BacT's army because he is running out of cash, he currently controls the gold mine. He controls the hill. And this means that he will be able to produce just a few extra champions, siege rams, and arbalest, and those are a real pain in the butt to deal with if you happen to have no gold. This is such a close game, but once all of this gold is strip mined, there is basically nothing left, and then it's going to come down to map control, clever use of the market, some potential big plays, maybe another cut is necessary. There are actually two fronts going on right now, and I mentioned that 600 gold threshold earlier. Also applies to Hussar, unfortunately. That's a pretty overpriced upgrade. And so TaToH doesn't actually have it, and he doesn't have Blast Furnace either. This is close, but I think he's going to get pushed in.
Now. Look, BacT is getting now, because in the north, he's killing absolutely everything. Now he has to TaToH and look at the population, finally drop it in military for TaToH. He's taking that castle, and if he buy a hand with the stone, he can make a castle here, Res, where he's just attacking. And I insist, that can be crucial. He's still fighting in the south, but this is, in my opinion, good for BacT, because now he's spending a lot in the south. But why? What he got here? He want to stop the push? Well, maybe. That's the problem. TaToH need to defend in two spots, and right now 93 military, 59 army, and now who has the overboon? And I say overboon in quotes, because TaToH is 140 villages, because his economy is at the very limit. And what happens when your economy is at the limit? That you try to keep doing village because you feel like you need it. You need it and make more and more farmers. But now BacT is even raiding with the light caps. So this is getting closer and closer. But TaToH is trying because he is a warrior, and he's Spanish. Now that I cannot say. And look at those traps. Arbalest, skirmishes, and keep pushing more and more. 1, 2, TaToH, and well, I don't know how he can stop this. It's gonna be really complicated, but TaToH will try, and will keep trying to push him back. But BacT economy is right now, thanks to the gold, he might in a much better situation. Why he's not buying to make another castle? Press?
I think he should.
A castle will be crucial there.
I agree. I think he should. I also think there's a relic that's been sitting here awkwardly all game and needs a friend badly. And I think that the relic would help out quite a bit. So, BacT managed to actually take down that castle, which was in a critical location to actually defend most of TaToH's economy. And TaToH got heavily raided there by some light cav. Great play there by BacT, weakened that eco, and BacT actually did replace a decent amount of lost villagers, actually getting his farmer count up to like a whopping 60. He's moving forward with the trebuchets, dropping down another castle. Even though TaToH miraculously won the battle on the law side, On the bottom side, he's now lost it yet again, and I think this is going to be it. And one of the things I wanted to mention earlier, another reason that the Britons, even though in a low gold situation, the Byzantines you think would have the edge, it's just having a little bit of gold gives the Britons the edge, especially because they have siege engineers, which I think would really help push through these Byzantine buildings. But with TaToH being housed, his economy in shambles, I think now it is time. What a crazy epic game, man, but I think...
Yeah, it's time. It's time to call it.
Yeah.
I think he didn't use the siege engineer because he didn't use also Onega. So, and well, he's with the trap, which is one range more. The traps are at 16. Now he's pushing completely. Village number is almost the same, but military is getting close to double. TaToH has no castles. He has no map. He's holding a little bit on the bottom. Now he's also raiding the lumberjacks. Village for the first time in a long time. BacT will have even more than him. And yeah, he doesn't resign because he feels that he still have a good population and Byzantines can spam forever. But forever is gonna be probably not possible anymore since he has no food and he keep pushing little by little. It's really complicated and these players spam super fast because they are super strong, and with the multi-queue option also, if you control that option really great, you can spam like crazy. And since they are so cheap, it's very difficult to finish the game. You can see that now he's coming with 4 siege rams trying to counter. It's true that BacT is coming with the cap rams, but siege rams are much better than those cap rams. Oh, look at those siege rams.
He got the relic.
Okay, he's going, man. Yeah, man. And now with those skirmishes and the light caps, come on, man. He's gonna finish or not? Whoa! What is that trebuchet forward? Okay, he's gonna lose it. Don't lose that. You need to keep everything. But now BacT, yeah, this is why he's pushing over 4,000 food. Why you don't sell a little bit to get some gold? Anyway, siege rams incoming, and now TaToH, incredible. He was half the military. Look now his army with Byzantines, over 100. When one player is losing villages, rest, the other is doing well. That player is doing a lot of army. Look at this.
I guess one odd downside of raiding, if you want to be expanding brain and think on a whole new level of break the meta, is if you get raided and lose a bunch of villagers, that just gives you more room for a ton of army if you were stockpiling for some reason. And if your units cost basically nothing because you're the Britons, the Byzantines, then, well, there you go. That's pretty good. He's somehow miraculously holding on, but I really feel like at some point he's just inevitably going to lose because he just doesn't have map control. He's been boxed in this corner the entire game, and his economy is going to keep sustaining damage over and over and over again. And this army will peter out. You can only throw so much trash into the fire before it eventually completely turns to ashes and gets burned out. By the way, siege engineers does not cost gold, so think about it, everybody. Think about it.
Well, now BacT, look what is happening with this game. I mean, this is crazy. Now BacT out of wood, 0 wood, and now 5,000 food. Well, I don't know how to analyze this game. It's really complicated. I see in the chat, such a mess game. Well, they are just spamming now. This reminds me those deathmatch games that you are spamming in the late game. All the trash unit, that castle that was amazing is gone. But now again, TaToH at the limit, 77 villages, 74 army, coming with the siege ram, light cap trying to kill those skirmishes. This is crazy. But in the south, you can see how the raiding from BacT is brutal. This is what is giving him the game. He's sending so many light caps, and what? He's gonna make in the corner there at 9 o'clock stables on his base. He's sending villages there. This is what he wants. I am on BacT point of view and I see that he wants to build. Okay, he deleted because he got 0 wood. That's crazy. But he keep raiding completely in the south. But then TaToH recovering the north. What is this? TaToH now 0, literally 0 wood. Well, balanced economy. 0 wood, 0 food, 0 gold, and 0 stone. With 51 villagers. Come on. TaToH can't keep producing absolutely anything. He is GG, and he's calling the GG. What a first game, guys. Come on. Analyze this if you can, Mr. Res.
Well, this was an exercise in stamina, I would like to say. What an excellent game. And, man, this is one of many reasons I love co-casting with you, man. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and hopefully you all understand now why the Byzantines are classified as a defensive civilization. Being a defensive type Pokemon means that they can wall themselves into the corner and hold out for a very long time, even with a minimal amount of villagers. And eventually, though, he's going to run out of money. And that's when he calls game. I feel like that was an appropriate time to call game, although he probably could have called it like maybe 10 minutes earlier if he wanted to. It's, as I explained earlier on the game, it's going to be momentum swings back and forth between the two civilizations based off their power spikes. The Britons have the slightly better, feudal and castle age, but then the Byzantines get this huge early Imperial age where they can get that technology lead, leverage that, and just blow your opponent back. But if the game goes on for 30,000 years, then the Britons, they've got champions with Blast Furnace, which BacT made all the right units they needed to do. He kept applying pressure. I think TaToH made some huge decisive plays that almost flipped the map in his favor by actually cutting through the middle, but in the end it just wasn't enough, as it's really difficult to deal with the champions and the Arbalest with so much range. The Rams, by the way, everybody, are just not only for pushing, but they also really help with absorbing the Elite Skirm and Arbalest damage. Overall, this was an absolutely excellent game, and what a great way to start off a series.
Yeah, it's great, and we can check now the achievements with Zac. We can see how in unit kills, we can see BacT kill 300 units more. 300 units more, that means that he was getting the initiative during all the game. 300 units more is a lot, because we see many of those long games that they are like 50-50, but no, he was killing a lot, 300 units more. Largest army at the end, it was almost the same. The economy, you can see how BacT did 10,000 more food. The wood was very similar, 1,000 more for TaToH, but the stone, BacT 3,000 more, and gold 6,000 more as well. Then, if we focus in the timeline, which is gonna be really nice, because it's gonna help to understand what happened here, we can see how BacT has got more army during all Castle Age, right? TaToH was basically booming, didn't got a lot, but then when TaToH reached Imperial, he pushed his army, he pushed him back, but there was a point that it happened the opposite. In the middle Imperial Age, you can see how BacT, when he got killed some of those villages, make a lot of army, and after that, he couldn't counter the Britons' range and the Britons' composition. But also, I really think that BacT, we saw in the economy, he got much better economy, and he could afford that army for a longer time.
Yeah, this was an absolutely fantastic game, then. I'm going to be right back after that one, as that was quite a long one. I'm going to grab a glass of water, and I'm really looking forward to Game 2 in the series, and I hope you all are too. Again, you can find the VODs on our respective YouTube pages as well as the ECL YouTube page, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Alright, we'll be right back with the next game in just a moment. Let me grab some water.
Yeah,
well, the next
awesome game.
Oh, sorry, Zac.
Sorry, man, but I just jumped in there because I want to say that was a sick start to the series, and BacT coming out strong. There was a point in that game where I thought TaToH would push it back, and I think in the end it all came down to the gold in TaToH's base. I don't know what you think about that, but if BacT hadn't got that gold, and he was gold starved against the Byzantines, I think it would have been over at that point.
100%, because I really think that it's really difficult to stop the siege rams. But the problem is that I think TaToH couldn't have enough economy to make a strong push, And you saw in the achievement for that I was doing the mention, 6,000 gold difference in a 1 versus 1 is a lot. It is really, really a lot. And there was a point that TaToH was, sending rams, but how many? One by one, and couldn't make bombard cannons and all, trebuchet, so it was very difficult for him.
This Age of Empires 2 video was funded by my loyal supporters on Patreon. I really appreciate those of you that pledge on Patreon, as even just as little as a few dollars a month allows me to produce more and better content. In addition, special thanks to my Twitch subscribers and donors. Lastly, another way to support the channel for free is to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as not using adblock and not skipping my ads. Every like and comment, either on my social media or YouTube, makes a huge difference, and I always take the time to read all of them, tweets included. Let me know if you enjoyed the game and my commentary, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next Twitch stream or YouTube video coming soon.